The Vertical Flight Hall of Fame Award recognizes individuals who have made significant contributions to the rotorcraft industry. Now, to introduce this award, please welcome retired Major General and living legend Carl McNair.
Good evening, friends and neighbors, fellow legend, and all aviators, par excellence. For those of you who don't catch that French phrase, I thought I might explain. That means the best kind. The aviators it is, and that's not my French. All of you here tonight have met or exceeded that standard. You're the best kind by virtue of your very presence here tonight. It was only a year ago that we last met in this wonderful, beautiful ballroom, and a thrill to recognize once again the best of the best in our aviation world. Events such as this bring back to my memory, especially here in Hollywood, a popular Frankie Valli with the Four Seasons hit of a half-century ago. And most of you are not old enough to remember, but I remember fondly, what a night, what a night. Remember the words in the melody? Oh, what a night, late in '63, what a special time for me as I remember what a night. And ladies and gentlemen, what a night this is for our next honoree, Bill Chiles, a great success in many ventures, 32 years with Western Oceanic, followed by a decade as chief executive of Bristow Group, and yet today, a managing executive of Pelican Energy Partners. He is known best to this audience with the legends with whom he has flown and worked for decades, a brilliant career, and the North Star in the offshore oil and gas drilling business, which continues to shine even brighter today in this world of ours. Bill is the giant in his field, all the way from the North Sea, where he started his career on the platform as a deckhand, a floorman, then derrick man, and driller out of Aberdeen, Scotland. From there, he advanced to the rig manager and vice president of operations in the Gulf of Mexico, over 5,000 miles away. That must have been a very tough commute. Can you imagine the frequent flyer miles he must have accumulated as he became the master in his field? Seems he had to make a lot of trips back to Houston to see his wife, Wendy, and their 5 children. Yet, successful as he was, Bill always had a hidden agenda, as most men do, for he, like most Texans, loved aviation, and he had a passion to fly, as most of us did in our young lives. Nearsightedness prevented and precluded his admission to the United States Naval Academy. I can understand that myself personally because they have a large football team. 13 years is a long time, but sincerely, folks, he did in fact chose to provide fuel for those jets that he could not fly, but he never gave up. He had in fact survived many ventures flying out back and forth to oil rigs, and in turn, his passion persevered. He probably today has more stick time than most of us who spend our lifetime flying in the U.S. Army forces and commercial air. But at the top of his bucket list was to one day fly with the Blue Angels, and fly with them he did. In 2009, he flew in the number 7 aircraft, the SOT, to ensure the 6 flying ahead of him in the lead formation were doing it right. Not only did Bill fly with the Blues, he even flew the Sikorsky S-38 flying boat, an amphibious 8-seater originally built in 1928. That, friends, would be the bottom of my bucket list since I am not an ocean swimmer. But most of us might suspect also that Clay Lacy and Bob Hoover, our idols in this organization, also flew the S-38. But better yet, knowing Clay and Bob Hoover's skills, they probably were the early test pilots for Igor Sikorsky and his son Sergei. Ladies and gentlemen, from deep in the heart of Texas, born in Alice, Texas, graduating from the University of Texas, hook 'em horns, and graduate school at Southern Methodist, our honoree receiving the Bell Helicopter Vertical Flight Hall of Fame award tonight, William Chiles. Bill has done it all in the offshore oil fields.
My best friend in school had a J3 Piper Cub, so we'd go flying around Texas in that thing and doing things we wouldn't think of doing today. We probably started doing that at the age of 13 or 14, maybe even younger than that. My passion in high school was to go to the Naval Academy and fly for the Navy. So I went to military high school in San Antonio with the idea, I was myopic about it. I just wanted to fly for the Navy, and particularly the F-4 Phantom. And I found out my senior year I was nearsighted. So I just scrubbed that idea because I didn't want to join the surface Navy. All I cared about was flying, so I pursued my next passion, which was the offshore drilling business. I never really thought about getting involved in the helicopter business until I got this wonderful gift and invited to be the CEO of Bristow in 2004. It took me a while to get used to it, and I realized after spending a few hours flying at our academy in Florida, Bristow Academy, what a thrill it was to fly rotary machines. And it really, in my view, was real flying. It was seat of the pants. It was almost like going back to the days we were flying the J3 in Texas. It was just a lot of fun, and a kick to fly, and very different. You know, the old saying goes, anybody can land a fixed-wing aircraft on a 10,000-foot runway. Try to land a helicopter on a helipad offshore in the Gulf of Mexico, North Sea, that's generally 50 feet in diameter. We fly approximately 500 helicopters in 22 countries around the world in support of oil and gas or energy operations offshore. In addition, we have a search and rescue business in the UK, where we run all of the search and rescue bases around the UK for Her Majesty Coast Guard. The key to our success at Bristow has really been around servant leadership and a singular, passionate focus on safety. We have a sacred human responsibility to return our passengers to their families every time, safe and sound. And we're going to achieve that goal. We've made great progress, and through Heli Offshore, the International Offshore Helicopter Association, we're going to get there. Not only within Bristow, but in the entire industry that's flying offshore in a very, very, very difficult environment. That's what I'm spending time on it. I'm chairman of Heli Offshore, and I'm going to continue to contribute where I can to actually achieve those goals.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Bell Helicopter, Executive Vice President for Commercial Business, Matt Hasek.
Thank you, Danny. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to join you here tonight to recognize a man who is not only a leader in aviation, but a visionary in oil and gas exploration and an avid safety advocate. Bill Chiles, Senior Advisor and CEO Emeritus of the Bristow Group, has made a lasting impression on the world of aviation. We have all benefited from his leadership in establishing industry-wide safety standards across the helicopter offshore transportation field. Working in partnership with manufacturers, customers, and even his competitors, Bill fostered a collaborative environment focused on safety culture that set the standard for what we all strive to achieve. During his 10-year tenure at the Bristow Group, Bill articulated a clear vision that led to Bristow's impressive growth, strong financial performance. He was credited with successfully bringing together two companies from the Bristow Group to form the Bristow Group: Bristow Helicopters, based in the United Kingdom, and Offshore Logistics, based in the United States. But more importantly, he championed safer operations, particularly through Bristow's Target Zero initiative, where he led a company-wide culture where men and women come to work every day with one target: 0 accidents. All of us at Bell Helicopter are pleased and proud to recognize Bill's career-long contributions to the field. We appreciate his passion for safety and his dedication to the industry. Bill?
Thank you. I can't tell you how humbled I am to be here. I don't really feel like I deserve this amazing honor amongst these world-class aviators, all of you in the audience. Matt, thank you very much for those kind words, and thank you so much to the Bell team, the entire Bell team, for supporting me in this effort and sponsoring me for this award. I haven't been in space. I ran into Gene Cernan earlier tonight, so I haven't been in space. I haven't walked on the moon. I haven't set any aviation records. In fact, I don't have enough hours to be considered a real aviator, but I really have a deep passion for aviation, and I'm beginning to fly again, believe it or not, at the age of 67, and dealing with the transition from steam gauges in a Cirrus SR-20 and a 22. And I'm dealing with a transition from steam gauges to flat panel screens. And I'm telling you, even though I'm a techno nut, it's pretty tough. Unfortunately, I'm going to repeat some things on the video, but my time at Bristow, my 10 years there, actually now 11 and a half years, were the highlight of my 43-year career working because I love aviation. I was blessed to have the opportunity to play on the Bristow team and lead the Bristow team. Incredible aviation professionals, and I particularly want to thank them for embracing Target Zero, which was the Bristow culture of safety. We accomplished some great things and drastically improved our safety record and saved lives in the process. And as I said on the video, we have a sacred human responsibility to return our passengers home, well, to work and then home every single time, and we will accomplish that. The idea that helicopters are inherently dangerous was just not acceptable to the management team that started arriving in 2004. Also mentioned on the video, the newly formed Heli Offshore, which is the International Offshore Helicopter Association. By sharing best practices, we are going to drive our safety record to match or be better than fixed-wing general aviation or fixed-wing commercial aviation. We work in a very unique and difficult environment, and that creates some very significant challenges for us. We have real work to do, but I'm telling you, soon we'll achieve those goals. I want to thank all of you here for having me, and I want to make sure that I thank the one person in the room, my wife Wendy, who's really truly responsible for all the great things that we've been able to accomplish together. Thank you again for this honor, and God bless all of you.